In today's episode, we're speaking to the amazing Natasha Zo once again. Natasha is a former journalist from Siberia turned international media relations specialist and a freelance writer. Known for her connector skills, she guided a number of authors to Amazon bestseller status, booked national TV, top-tier media, and over 400 podcast interviews. Leading up to this, she lived in three different continents, volunteered in Central America, managed a high-performing marketing team in Asia, taught public speaking to refugee teenagers, and she's an inspiring freelance writer motivated by telling the stories of health and wellness leaders and inspiring conscious entrepreneurs. And in today's episode, we're speaking to Natasha about the 5 levels of visibility. Let's find out. Welcome. This is Gull, your money mindset expert. And once again, we have the beautiful, the wonderful, the charming Natasha Zo. Welcome, Natasha.
Hi, Gull. It's great to be back talking to you.
Wonderful. We had such an amazing conversation, Natasha, on Friday. We had to have you back on Money Talkies. Natasha, everyone's heard your intro. They know how wonderful you are, but please, in your own words, tell everybody what it is that you do.
I'm a visibility expert for people that are building their own business, coaching, solopreneurs, service-based businesses. I help people to go to the next level of visibility, break the ceiling of feeling unseen and unknown, feeling the world's best kept secret, and really feel recognized and seen for your gifts.
Absolutely wonderful. So it really ties in well with the current topic, which is 5 levels of visibility. So talk us through this, Natasha. What are the 5 levels of visibility? And then let's talk about each level in turn.
Right, wonderful. So this is a concept that I find really helpful for people building their personal brand. Or building a brand for their product, for their business. And it really helps to break down all the information there is out there on getting visible, on getting known, visible online, because there is so much. Literally, the moment you're like, okay, I'm ready to build a brand, I'm ready to get it started, bring it on internet, and the internet is like, boom,
Yeah.
it lands on you with a complete overwhelm of information of like, you have to be on YouTube, but also on TikTok, but also you have to be doing webinars, but also you have to be, taking advantage of the different short video formats, and you also have to be selling in this model, and there is also like the sales ecosystem, etc., etc. There is so much, and every single person out there trying to sell their service, telling you that there is one thing that you are missing, and you're like, okay, let me cling on to that one thing. Didn't work again. Okay, maybe this one thing. And then you just end up being exhausted. And the worst thing I see happening is people kind of just burn out trying to make it happen for them, trying to get seen online. So let's break it into the 5 levels, because I find that structuring it really helps to filter out all the information out there and to understand, okay, this applies to me right now, this applies to me in half a year, etc. So 5 levels of visibility is really it's really how you are known online. So let's start with level 1. I call it inner circle, and level 1 is the foundation of your brand. When your brand is known by your close circle, friends, family, etc., word of mouth. What I want to say here, that level 1 is not bad. Is there are people who make money and who may build businesses staying on level 1, and you can actually choose to stay here. We can go into that deeper. But for example, my therapist, I always give his example. The guy has no presence online whatsoever, yet he keeps on finding clients. He keeps on getting recommendations,
referrals, the
old
way
word
of
of
doing
mouth.
it.
And you know what? He keeps on raising prices, which shows that there is a demand for his skills, for the kind of service that he's offering. And me as his client, I'm like, yeah, I'll stay with you, and I'm gonna keep paying more. So this guy, yeah, he monetizes his hours. So this is an amazing place to be. Inner circle is when your visibility is through the traditional word of mouth way. The level 2 is online recognition, and this is when you going to create some sort of content. Doesn't matter which platform, whatever the platform works with you. We can talk about that later as well. And people start following you for your expert knowledge, not because they are related, not because you graduated university together, but because they value the expert knowledge that you got to share. And an important remark here is you can be on level 2 with 300 followers. You can be on level 2 with 300,000 followers. I had clients in kind of both categories. It's not about the number. It's about the fact that people follow you for your expert knowledge, but also that you are able to monetize. You are able to convert people who you never met in person from just following you to becoming your paying client. Right. Niche authority, and I'm just running through the level kind of really fast. There is more to unpack.
Individual levels afterwards, yeah.
Let's do it. Niche authority is when you are known within your niche. Usually it happens through a strategic collaboration when you appear more than on your own platform. So beside your own website and your own social media channel, someone types in your name on Google. Maybe their podcast interviews, maybe their magazine appearances, maybe their collaborations that you've done with our other creators online. So your brand becomes harder to scrape off internet, right? It becomes more resilient. It becomes more, more present in different platforms. And for some people, it opens up also different ways of monetizing your brand. That's also something that some people work with. Level 4 is industry recognition. So here we are talking individuals who are well known within their industry. Often it comes with publishing a book. Often people found their own certification programs. Often they appear on major media outlets or podcasts. There's like a lot of this marketing by association here, right? Associating with big names, associating with the famous media platforms, associating maybe with well-known speaking stages, etc. So this is level 4, industry recognition, and level 5 is a household name out there with the stars. When you kind of gone outside of your industry and shoot it into the stardom level. So, celebrity chefs, right? There is a name, there are a couple names probably that comes to mind that you think of, and there you take celebrity chef. Maybe you're not really into the deep into the cooking industry, right? But there are a couple names that you can say because they gone out, right?
Yeah.
So that's pretty much 5 levels, and that's there are certain tools to go from each level to the next level. But the most important thing is to understand where you are today.
Okay, so when you were describing all of that, I think I was trying to assess where I am. I think I'm probably on level 4 with publishing a book, with my podcast and everything else that I've got. And we've had 1 million downloads as well. Plus I've been on other people's podcasts. So I think, so for myself, I'm on level 4, but I'm kind of feeling like I'm stuck. I'm not a household name yet. So let's start from level 1 and see how do we go from level 1 to level 2, level 3, and level 4 and up level. I think a lot of people who come to the industry, because I've been in this industry now for about 8 years, or 7 years actually professionally. I think it's taken me 7 years to get to level 4, and I think you can do it a lot quicker than I did. But then I just I made loads of mistakes. So that's probably my thing. And now my focus is in a different industry altogether. I've gone into manufacturing. But let's start with level 1. How, if you're on level 1, what's the tools to get to level 2?
So level 1 to level 2 is all about creating it's all about mastering the content game. And what I mentioned is when you get people who follow you online for your expert knowledge. So you start with choosing your platform. And there is a lot of debate here as well. What is trending, right? Is it podcasting? Is
Instagram,
it YouTube?
TikTok, YouTube Shorts. And
long
Facebook and
form, short,
long
short.
form.
And then there are people who will be like, you have to do everything. And here's how you make
And they
64
remember
pieces of
when
content out.
and Clubhouse came out a while ago, and then it was the big thing, and then it just
Yeah.
disappeared. I don't hardly hear anything about Clubhouse anymore. So
Yes, 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 yes.
it's
Uh,
there's always something new, isn't it?
yes, there is always something new. So when you're starting out, it can be really overwhelming. Do
Yes,
I
I think
have to
overwhelmed.
record all
Yeah.
those videos? Yeah, and make 64 pieces of content out of each of my video.
I
Yeah,
mean,
so
I think
yeah.
there's quite a lot of softwares out there now, especially with the rise of
Mm-hmm,
AI. We can you can take or you can record one long form video, and then it can chop it up for you and do
yeah.
various things. There's amazing stuff that can be done. But this
Mm-hmm.
idea that you need to be posting on TikTok and Instagram and YouTube Shorts, and they all have different formats, and they have to be done in different format and so forth and blah. I find that overwhelming. Let's forget for me
It's definitely
formatting it.
overwhelming. Let's say one thing is, as a creator, as a entrepreneur, solopreneur is the keyword here,
Yeah,
right? Your main resource is your time.
exactly.
All right. And there are tools that help you to maximize your time output, as you mentioned, like different video softwares and so on. But I'm a big proponent of going deep on one platform. And some marketing experts would disagree with me, and I think that shouldn't be a platform that's trending or that's currently hitting all the headlines. It should be a platform, where you waste your time, and B, which supports the format that you're comfortable in showing up with. So maybe if, for example, waste your time, everyone sits down at the end of the day and does some scrolling here or there,
Mm.
or maybe you listen to podcasts, or maybe you binge watch YouTube videos and so on. So what I'm thinking is you maximize your output by, while you're wasting your time and watching the cooking videos. Maybe your business is not going to be about recipes, but you're just watching cooking videos to figure out the next meal for the family. But you're learning what are the formats that are working on this platform. What are the, how do other people do the opening of their video? How do people to create a call to action out of this video, etc., etc. You're learning, and that's already maximizing your limited resources as a solopreneur.
Isn't
And the
that
second
interesting?
thing, yeah,
Stop you for a second. I think just because I think that's a
yeah,
very, very interesting point. So yes, I have various videos coming on all sorts of stuff, and we have the
mm-hmm,
podcast. I listen more to audiobooks than podcasts, which is surprising. I don't know why that is, but I prefer audiobooks. So I will go, if I
mm-hmm,
hear someone's got a good podcast, I'll go to their book and I get an audiobook version of it and listen to the audiobooks. I
mm-hmm,
don't know why that is, but that's the thing with me. So even though I have one of the leading podcasts in the world, I don't listen to as much podcasts as probably I should, but I don't. I
mm-hmm,
prefer audiobooks. And then I'm hardly ever on YouTube unless I need a specific recipe for a specific thing, I'm making something and I want to get a new recipe for it, which is once in a month, if that, because I'm so
mm-hmm.
busy. And then TikTok, I'm never on TikTok. I don't like the platform, but we've posted a little bit on there. The only platform that I actually enjoy for personal use, and I will go and scroll on it, would be, and Facebook I've kept off for ages, for the last couple of years. That leaves Instagram. Instagram's the one the platform that I actually go there for my own. Like when I need inspiration or something else, I have, and I think the algorithm picks it up too. So I go and I know the posts are going to be relevant to me. That is what I scroll through, and I can sit half an hour, 45 minutes, even now sometimes
Yeah.
scrolling through just before I go to sleep. Probably not a good bedtime routine, actually. That's a naughty thing to do. But that's probably the only time during the day when I get some time when I can actually do scrolling. Otherwise, my phone is used for business.
We all do. We all
Yeah.
do at some point or another, no matter how much we're trying to hold ourselves off that. So.
But the point I'm making is what you just said. I got a light bulb going off because I scroll through that. I know, even though I'm not using the format myself, I know what format's working on Instagram, which is like, you say a line which is disruptive, then you give an introduction to yourself. If you're not following, you follow me, give like it's here,
Mm-hmm.
call to action. And then you give that snippet of information. That's a really good format. And I picked it up because I've been watching. I wouldn't know
You're
otherwise.
learning a lot
Yeah,
there, right?
yeah, so
You're
I'm
learning.
learning. And I didn't think of that. I was thinking I was wasting your time, but you just made no, actually I'm learning. because that's the platform I'm on. And
You are
that's what they
learning
can use.
if you're using it for your brand. But let's see, you're like in a different kind of situation, right? For people who would be on level one. Level one,
Yes,
you have no team, you have yourself,
yes.
and only yourself 24 hours a
But
day.
even though
And
I have a team, I think it's been worthwhile for me just talking to you, realizing
mhm.
how much knowledge I've gained just because I'm not a social media person, but that particular one platform I go on,
Yeah.
and it's interesting to know that I didn't realize, but I was taking information in.
It's also so interesting. I sometimes talk to people and they actually off-put the platform that they personally use for for personal exploration. Seems to be the biggest barrier of like emotional entry of like, oh, that's where people know me, or that's where that's where my classmates are, etc. So I find people like try to do every other platform except for the one that they actually use for
Use.
themselves. You know a lot of that platform, and that can be used to your advantage on your content creation.
Okay.
Yeah, and the second point on choosing the platform is the format that you're comfortable with. So of course, everyone has a stage fright. Of course, everyone has not so comfortable showing up on video and so on. But if you could possibly see yourself doing that, or if versus you can never imagine in a million of lifetimes showing up your face on camera, that's also gonna educate the choice of your platform. Instagram, as we use it an example, and the TikTok can be both, right? It can be
Yeah.
something that has a face, and something that doesn't have a face to it, etc. Maybe you are really good at speaking and conversing. The podcast is your platform. Maybe you are comfortable with doing if you're more comfortable with showing up on camera, then YouTube and long form conversation there is your form, right? So, or if text format is your format, then Instagram and TikTok gives a lot of possibilities to use your copywriting and writing as creating a content and turn it into the short videos.
Okay, so
Yeah.
that's actually very informative. So that's level 1 to 2. So how do you go from level 2 to level 3?
So what I also want to say is just creating content, just the fact that you put out 10 videos on YouTube or Instagram whatsoever, doesn't necessarily put you on level 2, right? You need to master it game, right? So and the very important thought here is there is no skipping level. Like you cannot wake up today, put up Instagram account and be like, okay, I skipped level 1, I'm on level 2 now. Sell something through the word of mouth first, get a feedback to your
Right.
product, get a response. Then on level 2, sell something through your content first. It's a journey as well of mastering your content, of mastering those algorithms, the engagement, the response. Okay, you mastered the content. Now the content to sell, it's a whole other journey, right? This is a huge topic. So yes, it is level 2. It is about being present online and having people following you for your expertise, but it's mastering this level, right? Meaning I'm able to monetize it. I'm able to make a sell from my content from someone who doesn't know me, never met me before. There is enough trust. There are the funnels that exist there create and build up enough of this rapport so people are ready to pull out their credit card and say, okay, I'm gonna sign up for your coaching. I'm gonna buy your product. Doesn't matter if it's a $50 product or $5,000 product. Just mastering this sale there or on that level. That's what's
That's
what's a key, and that's what's a key to getting you off to the next level, because the next level in terms of visibility, the level 3, it's about collaboration. It's about creating a versatile brand that exists out of your own platform and on a podcast, on the conversation with maybe you do the guest webinars for someone, maybe you co-create a webinar with another creator in your niche and you exchange audience and so on. So again, showing up to this collaboration can work in your favor if you know how to, on the level 2, to sell to people who just find you online. Otherwise, yeah, you can still do the podcast, you can still do collaboration, and that's what a lot of people having challenge with. They're like, yeah, Natasha, I do the podcast, but it doesn't work. It doesn't bring me the sale. Yeah, because you don't know how to sell to the person who just followed you. So you do so on Instagram. So of course it's not gonna, the fact that the person followed you from a podcast, it's not gonna majestically make a difference and suddenly make your amazing salesperson. It's a journey of figuring out your content and figuring out how much information do you give up front, what is that you give, what is the flow of the information you give, right? So this is to level 3. And the journey can take as long or as fast as you take. I think it's a little bit of a progression there, of a learning curve, right? It might be faster to go from 1 to 2, right? So it might be take a little bit more to go from 2 to 3. Yeah, but also another important note is every single one of those levels, you can be making money and you can be monetizing, and you should be. There is no need to be rushing to publish an international bestseller if you don't know how to sell your webinars yet. You may get an international, and that's where I hate all the time, because in the visibility industry, there's a lot of like these gimmicks. There's a lot of things that people think, oh, if I just get that's it, my business is sorted. If I just get on Forbes list, my business is sorted. I wish it was that, because then it would be really cheap, right, to sort out your business. No, if I just get on the TEDx stage, everything is solved. Again, not if you haven't done the previous work. I might sound boring right now, right? So,
no, I think what you're saying
do
is
your homework.
No, so I think this is valid, and I'm just going to sum this up a little bit. And I think what you're saying is true, but unfortunately, there are lots of unethical people on the online space who sell this dream. Oh, you're doing this and this and this and this, but you're missing this. If you do this, you become a bestseller, you will get you get all these clients and blah blah blah. And I'm speaking from experience, because I do have an international bestseller. I've got a book that, when we got to number 1 within 24 hours, and because I did have an audience. Now, the reason why I got to number 1 is because I went through the level you're referring to. I did have an audience, and people knew, and people had bought my programs, and they've also bought the books, and I was able to have the book because of the experience and the stories I was able to relate. It was because of the clients I had who had bought my programs. So the system you're talking about works. Now, had I just launched my book now, when if I'm starting brand new, then I would invest £5,000-10,000 in trying to getting the book together and marketing and selling it. But would I get to bestseller, and would it be worthwhile? Would I get the reviews and the ongoing sales? No. Now, I add to that, because I've gone on to do other businesses and I haven't really focused on it. I get regular sales from it, but I'm not getting the kind of visibility of the sale from it that I could do. And that's but I understand that that's because I have chosen not to focus on that and go on and be on for other things, because my focus has become, coaching has become for me as a side hustle, even though it was my main business, has become a side hustle because other business has taken over. But I recognize the shortcomings. It's not the system, it's not the levels are wrong, it's just my focus isn't there. I think this is very important to recognize, that sometimes we put half effort into doing something, and then the system doesn't work. Oh, this doesn't work. But if you follow the process you're telling, because even I wasn't aware of the levels, but as you're saying it, I'm like, oh, that makes sense. This is why that happened for me, because I did inadvertently or subconsciously follow that system, and it happened to help me. And then obviously, I've just taken a career, I've taken a different diversion in my career path. But I'm happy to do this on the side. But my focus is on that. But that's what I wanted to highlight, the fact that you have to follow it through and learn the processes. Then you have to do it. If you can't just buy a dream from somebody who's telling you these dreams. And then unfortunately, there's too many coaches. And when I came in as a money coach 7 years ago, there was nobody being a money mindset expert or being money coach. Being a coach. There were mindset coaches, but not specific focusing on money. Now every Tom, Dick, and Harry is a money coach. And I said that, and so smiling, thinking, okay, what I've been teaching is based on my experience, but your teaching is what you learned from people like me and other people. So what are you teaching, and what, how can you answer sorts of things? But anyway, but unfortunately, that's not the case just in my industry. It's the case across the board in the coaching industry. All these people who come in,
and entry barrier is really low.
Yeah, it is very low, because there's no certification. There's nothing to say, well, you have to do this and this and this to become a coach. And then someone like you comes in and gives them an honest opinion. People are not willing to listen to that. So that's why I'm highlighting how important this is. because this is the harsh truth. You're not selling them a dream. You're telling them that it's going to take time. It's going to take hard work, but it can be done. And then somebody else goes, "Oh no, don't worry. You just get a
There is a
person."
quick hack. Yeah. That's kind of the double-edged sword of my position is that I have done and I have booked all the things that people dream of. I've done the organic placements in like the top magazines like Marie Claire and Entrepreneur and Forbes, etc. I've done the national TV when you don't pay for it, but when when the experience and kind of knowledge base and everything of the expert is there enough to be there and to benefit from it. I've done the magazine covers. I've done like all the fancy things. With some clients we done a bestseller which got like a 4 bestseller list from Barnes and Noble to Amazon to USA Today and something else I forgot. So we've done all of that. So quite often I have people come into me and being like, Forbes, everyone wants Forbes. This is the most this is the most frequent ask that I get, and this is the most frequent conversation that I have with people. I can sell you Forbes. I can do it, but you're going to be disappointed.
Exactly, because there's a process to follow. And I think the way and I'm so glad we're having this conversation today, because the levels you're talking about, it makes so much sense to take your time to develop your skill set at each second level and then climb up. And then that's how you're going to flourish and actually benefit from each different level.
That's why I started teaching the concept of 5 levels of visibility. And that's why I start working. When I started my agency, we worked more with the higher level. I'd say people in like level 3 and 4. And quite often I would get requests from people who are not there yet, who would not benefit from it, but there are still tools that they would benefit from. So this year with my agency, we are transitioning much more. We are rolling out some products that are going to be like more like educational products on, how do you win your content game? How do you specify your message? How do you relate to your target market when you're going from the inner circle to online recognition? How do you choose your platform? How do you nail this platform and so on? Because there is no skipping it. No. And then I have people who really nail this, but they haven't gone. I have a client who has like 300,000 followers, and she really nailed, her platform game, her content game, but she haven't really gone anywhere out of that. Okay, this is a sweet spot. Let's take but that's also a process. It's not going to be exactly the same content and exactly the same format. So together, let's develop, what is your key speech? What is your different points of gonna get you heard on the different platforms, on the different podcast stages, etc.
So how do you go, Natasha, from level 3 to level 4?
All right. So once you made your brand really versatile and gone on the different platforms, it's about the law of association and about associating with the big names, right? With whatever makes sense in your industry. This is where I recommend clients go for those well-known magazines. This is where, like, one client that we work with, she is online intimacy, she's dating expert. And Tantra, this is her world. So in her world, men's magazines, women's magazines are really the kind of association that would bring a lot of weight to her brand. So she has a lot of distribution through through her own social media channels, through the podcast interviews that she done, she already published a book, and she is going from level 3 to level 4 right now because we're getting her quote in the Men's Health, publication in the Glamour, and this kind of publication. So just the association there is like, she gets to stand out from everyone who is there competing in her industry as online dating coach, the intimacy and tantra expert. She gets to stand out because these are the channels that matter in her industry. And for each industry, there is going to be a different set of channels. Forbes is something that's well known and like tends to be a solution that everyone says seem to be seeking. But I tend to recommend go deeper here and see what is the association that you need um for your industry. Someone else who is in the breath work and yoga, for him we work with more the mainstream publications like in UK, like we do the Metro and Telegraph and this kind of things. And for him as well, we do the TEDx stage. It's also something that really like sets him apart in his industry. What is everyone doing? How can we top it up? Right.
Fabulous. Okay, so you have to identify which channels would work best for you before you go ahead and do that, and just don't randomly pick one. And I agree with the idea. Some channels work better for others, and I'm so glad that you've chosen not all publications, but publications which are relevant to her industry, where she's going to have eyeballs who are going to be interested in reading what she has to say. I think this is so important. Just because Forbes is everyone's hot magazine, everybody wants to be featured in Forbes. It's not necessarily going to give you the best results for necessarily for your particular industry. Say, for example, I think a lot of people just associate because it's prestigious, isn't it, to be in Forbes, whereas more eyeballs and more business can be had from other more niche art magazines, which are probably easy to get into, actually. Probably,
like, not necessarily. Like, come on, Glamour is not really niche, right? I mean, yeah, it is niche. It's a women's magazine, but it's huge, international brand,
it's huge.
Right?
No, I mean some of the
men's health, right?
It's
not necessarily easy. No, but it's more relevant.
It's more relevant. I think the word would be more relevant. So you need to choose more relevant publications for yourself, and which I think, if you have someone advising you, is much better than trying to do it by yourself. Yeah. Okay. So that's level 5. That's level 4. So how do we go from level 4 to level 5?
I think this is where people create their own kind of content, like where people host their shows, right? Where it's like where they become a really frequently present, right? Not an appearance on the men's health, right? But there is your column, there is your ongoing presence, and so on. When the association of you with some sort of channel becomes so present, so existent, that you by association with this name, with this title, you go into the next level of appearance, of presence into the people's minds. A lot of times it's also about like we've spoken about in a previous interview about the not necessarily like a clickbait, but some scandalous, some quite often it happens like when there is like a big personal event, or or maybe a conflict you get into. Like, unfortunately, that's it's not a recipe, but it's how it happens often. Because going from the industry recognition into the level of the household name, you got to understand that you are beyond just being an expert in the field that you chose. The household or the star level, it's also about having your personal life exposed, having people looking up to what you wear, people looking up to what a brand that you use, and so on. So it's also a question of like, is that something that you're seeking for? Do you want to be the influencer of to set your life as an example of the influence, or do you want to be someone who stays in the field as an expertise? You can also be monetizing. You can be monetizing your brand on every level. And I'm a big believer that in a modern world, everyone should be going through the process of building their brand, even if you're an employee. Even if you're planning to stay an employee until the end of your life, personal brand is something that's gonna, add a percentage to that check that you offered on your next career transition and so on. Because nowadays the experts are valued not only for their knowledge, but for their name that they bring to the company.
Absolutely.
The asset. Yeah, you are an asset in this way. You're not only selling your knowledge, you're selling, you're selling you packaging your knowledge through the personal
with your brand
brand.
as well, with your personal brand. Absolutely, 100%. Well, on that note, we're going to wrap up. This has been a fascinating conversation for myself too. I've learned so much today, Natasha. I can't tell you. It's just been great, me trying to process like what have I done and how that sort of fits into your 5 levels, which is absolutely eye-opening for me. So tell us, Natasha, how can we connect with you? How can we learn more from you?
You can go to my Instagram that we'll leave in our show notes, Natasha Zo _, and DM me the word level 1, level space 1. That's gonna give you a whole guide on everything that we just spoke about. You're gonna receive a link to here to read about everything we just spoke about, all the levels summarized, all the tools for level 1, level 2, etc., summarized, so you can reference it and you can see where your brand is today.
Absolutely fantastic. Wonderful. Now, if you're watching on the pod, if you're listening to us on the podcast, then the links for Natasha would be in the show notes. And if you're watching on YouTube, then down below in the description section, we'll have the links for Natasha to do check her out and see how she can help you build your business, build a bit of brand. And I'm definitely going to find out how she can help me. Well, thank you so much, Natasha. It's been an absolutely fascinating conversation with you. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much, Gull. It was amazing. And thanks for very insightful question and really helping me also see some new aspects of the concept that I've been teaching on for a while.
Wonderful, wonderful. I'm glad we had a wonderful conversation. And thank you for listening to me and Natasha today. I will be back on another Money Talkies expert trying to find out how you and I can build a better business. Until the next time we meet, this is Gull signing off. Take care and bye for now.